The audit imperative in VPN security independent code reviews are not optional but a fundamental requirement for establishing trust in privacy-critical software. The recent audit of GoToTun, Molvid's WireGuard implementation, serves as a paradigmatic case study in modern cybersecurity validation.
Conducted by Assured Security Consultants between January and February 2026, the assessment of version 0.2.0 concluded with no major vulnerabilities, a significant testament to the codebase's foundational integrity. The identification and subsequent remediation of two low-severity issues, predictable session identifiers and incorrect packet padding, demonstrate the precise value of external scrutiny. It enforces strict adherence to the WireGuard specification and closes subtle gaps that could, in aggregate or in specific contexts, erode security assurances.
This proactive resolution, completed even before the report's publication, underscores a mature security posture where audit findings are treated as immediate action items rather than mere recommendations.
The evolution of WireGuard implementations, the shift from functional replication to specification compliance, is the new battleground for VPN security superiority. The audit's findings illuminate a critical transition in the development of privacy tools.
The issues discovered in GoToTun were not novel exploits, but deviations from the canonical WireGuard protocol, some inherited from its predecessor, BoringTun. The static 24-bit session identifier, for instance, was a design carryover that introduced negligible but measurable predictability.
Similarly, the missing packet padding, while not a direct vulnerability, weakened resistance to traffic analysis. This context reveals that the primary risk for widely adopted VPN libraries is no longer just catastrophic failure, but the gradual accumulation of specification drifts and technical debt which can compromise the cryptographic guarantees and operational reliability that define tools like WireGuard in a crowded and competitive market.
Decoding low severity in high-stakes environments in cryptographic systems. Even minor implementation flaws can cascade into systemic trust failures under specific threat models. A deep dive into the corrected issues reveals the nuanced threat landscape.
The predictable session identifier, while offering very little to passive observers, could theoretically allow an adversary to fingerprint and count unique connection handshakes or active peers on a server, a valuable data point for targeted surveillance. The padding omission, though functional, left the implementation non-compliant and slightly more susceptible to pattern matching attacks.
Furthermore, the audit noted the unresolved peer roaming behavior functional limitation Molvid deemed irrelevant for its static server infrastructure but critical for GoToTun's aspiration as a general-purpose library. This highlights the audit's dual role, validating security for the vendor's specific use case while pressure testing the software's robustness for unforeseen deployments, ensuring the code is hardened not just for today's architecture but for tomorrow's adaptable threats.
Verdict: audits as a continuous assurance mechanism. The GoToTun audit validates the implementation's current strength but primarily establishes a benchmark for mandatory, ongoing scrutiny. The strategic verdict is clear. The audit was a success that confirmed security but, more importantly, institutionalized a process of external verification.
The planned wider deployment of the patched v0.4.0 throughout 2026 must be viewed as the beginning, not the end, of this cycle. The presence of lingering to-do comments in the codebase, as noted by auditors, signals required vigilance for future reviews.
For the broader VPN industry, this case sets a precedent. Independent audits are critical not merely for marketing but as a core engineering discipline. The next steps involve treating such audits as periodic health checks, expanding their scope to include dependencies and auxiliary tools like the CLI, and transparently documenting the lifecycle of every finding from identification to resolution, thereby transforming a point-in-time report into a living framework of accountable development.